Another pleasant night here at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies wrap up the final game of this three-game series against the Washington Nationals and looking to salvage the homestand. The Galapagos gang and everybody else are in town to watch this ball game between the Phils and the Nets. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. All right, so we're past the midway point of September. There's a lot of conversations going on around baseball about who's going to win the wild card, who's going to win the divisions, and who is going to be the MVP in both the American League and the National League. I think that the consensus is that Josh Donaldson's going to win it in the American League, and I would think the consensus is that Bryce Harper's going to win it in the National League, but there's some other guys that are going to battle him for it.
Well, there's 6 guys right there, very good numbers. Bryce Harper, 338, 39 home runs, 111 walks this year. On base percentage is amazing, a lot of doubles. You know, Zach Greinke's having a very good year. Jake Arrieta's having a very good year in 19-6. And it comes down to who is going to be in the playoffs, I think, or close going into the playoffs. And last night, Bryce Harper, his first at-bat, off-speed pitch from Buchanan, absolutely crushes one to center field. Stands there a little longer because the first pitch he saw was behind him. You know, he's a guy who's hitting well over 300, and this is the reason why he hits the ball everywhere. Majority of the home runs this year he's hit has been the right center field, and that's what good hitters do. But he also has tremendous power to left field, especially versus his left-handers. And he uses his lower half so well when he's hitting balls to the left field. He stays on the ball long. He drives to the left field, and that's the reason why he has 39 home runs this year.
Yeah, a lot of the sabermetric numbers that we talk about with Bryce Harper are through the roof, including OPS and WAR. His WAR is the best in the National League. Zach Greinke is number 2. But you mentioned something before we went on tonight. He's healthy this year. I mean, look at the comparison to his first 3 seasons.
Well, averaging 119 games the first 3 seasons. Now he's 137 games this year. He's getting in a rhythm. He's not going on the DL. And that's what happens for hitters. You all of a sudden you'll get injured. You sit out for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe up to a month. You come back. It takes about 2 weeks to find your timing. When he's missing games this year, he's now out very long.
Yeah.
So he's coming back. He's swinging the bat very well. He's staying consistent. He's staying in the lineup, and that's why he's putting up MVP numbers.
467 on base percentage. That is incredible for somebody that's hitting in the middle of the lineup. So tonight it will be Alec Asher making the start for the Phils, his 4th of the season. He'll be opposed by Gio Gonzalez, who's making his 3rd start of 2015 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, last night we visited a number of concession stands around Citizens Bank Park. In video more than anything else, although we did have some burgers and some fries. So because of that, Matt had an opportunity to take a stroll along the treadmill earlier today. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Budweiser, still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. Victory takes the mound tonight here at Citizens Bank Park. As the Phils wrap up this 3-game series, let's take a look at the Nationals lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. It'll be Rendon, Escobar, and Harper, followed by Jason Worth in left field, Clint Robinson at first, and Ian Desmond at shortstop. The bottom third is really the only change. Jose Lobaton catches for Wilson Ramos. He'll bat 7th. Michael Taylor 8th, and batting 9th at pitching is Gio Gonzalez. And they will indeed face Asher, who's 0-3 in the big leagues. His earned run average is high, 10.67. But it does take time for young pitchers to adjust to big league pitching. It just, in a lot of cases, takes time for big league hitters to adjust when they're brand new. And that's exactly, Matt, what Alec Asher's trying to do.
Well, it is. And he's a guy who has to go out and he has to trust himself. You look at the Budweiser scouting report, 4 pitches, fastball averaging 91.1. And he used his last outing, he used his fastball 64% of the time. He used his 29.3% of the time a slider. So basically he became a 2-pitch pitcher where he has to trust his stuff.
Well, he's ready to go. So are the Washington Nationals, who come in 8.5 games back in the National League East. Time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's ball game.
Well, key number 1 tonight for me is Darren Ruff. Take advantage of the playing time. You never want to see someone hurt, especially a teammate. But you have an opportunity to play versus righties and lefties. Take advantage of it. And Asher, trust all 4 pitches. Do not rely on just fastball and slider.
Anthony Rendon, 5 for 11 in the series so far, will lead things off for the Nationals. And the first pitch of the night. Swung on and missed. Good live fastball at 93. Rendon hitting .285. He's had a very good run now that he's gotten some at-bats and is healthy. In fact, the last 23 games hitting .358, and you can see what he's doing during this 7-game hitting streak. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Mentioned the Nationals have not really changed their lineup, and they really can't. Whereas some teams at this point in the year can maneuver and give certain guys extra at-bats, certain guys extra reps in certain positions. Well, the Nationals, they're still alive in the race for the National League East, even if it's just a small glimmer of hope, as Rendon goes down looking 1 away here in the first. During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. So 1 away, and it brings Yunel Escobar to the plate, who's hitting 15 of his last 16 games, and like Rendon, has a 7-game hitting streak. Boy, I like the fastball tonight for Alec Asher.
Yeah, 95.
A little low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, I meant to ask Escobar why he moves that chalk away out front of the batter's box. He does it every time he comes up.
I think I have an answer for that.
I think I have an answer too, but I want to hear yours first.
There's a line drive caught by Freddie Galvis at shortstop. 2 away. I remember last year, it may have even been the year before, he was with the Braves. He steps to that area, and by brushing that chalk aside, it enables him to, maybe get away with being an inch farther north than he's allowed from time to time, if there's ever a question about it. What was your explanation?
I was thinking if he steps on the chalk, it's slippery. He'll slide.
He wants to slide?
He doesn't want to slide on the chalk.
Oh,
so
I
he kicks it away so he lands in the dirt. I think both answers are right, though.
I never even thought about that, but that makes sense. Here's Bryce Harper, who has 3 home runs in this series. He takes a 94-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1.
And it's interesting, Tom. It's interesting where hitters stand in the batter's box. Some guys stand at the very back. That's where I wanted to be. I wanted to hit at the end of an off-speed pitch. Where Escobar stands up closer to the front, he wants to hit it before it breaks. I was right here. Closest to that line as I could get, and as far as back as I could get.
Now, did that change as you got older, or was that always the way you were?
That's always.
I would think most people. I would think 80% of players are that way, right?
I agree, and I think with me, since I had such short arms, I had to get as close as I wanted to because I wanted to become a pull hitter.
2 balls, 1 strike to Bryce Harper. 38 home runs, or excuse me, 39 home runs, 90 runs batted in. Now, he's missed a couple of times in that same spot. Obviously, in his mind, he's being careful with Bryce Harper, but he's not pitching around him here in the first inning. Ground ball towards second base, or shallow right field in this instance. And a 1-2-3 first inning. Excellent start for Alec Asher. We'll go to the bottom of the first. The Nationals nothing, and the Phillies coming up. Finished up his warm-up tosses, so we're just about ready to go. The Phillies lineup brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Phils. Galvis, Blanco, Altair back in the lineup. Jeff Francoeur starts at right field batting cleanup. Darren Rupp hits 5th. Darnell Sweeney 6th. Chase Darno starts at third base. He'll bat 7th. Rupp 8th. Alec Asher 9th. And the veteran left-hander Gio Gonzalez, who spent 1 year in the Phillies organization. 27 starts this year. Not too shabby. 10-7. A 3.88 ERA.
And I was surprised when I saw the left-handed hitters and the right-handed hitters batting averages versus him. I know Budweiser scouting report, 3-pitch pitcher. Liggins hitting 247 versus his changeup and a $163 versus his fastball. Still, it's a good fastball, averaging 92.5.
Galvis greets him with the ball down the left field line. It is a foul ball. I really wish the third base umpire, in this case Todd Tishner, would have made a call.
His hands are cold.
You know, we lose that corner down the left field line, so we rely on the umpires. I mean, you can look at Freddie Galvis and know that it was a foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Galvis. Galvis is making only his 2nd start as the leadoff hitter for the Phillies. And he strikes out. And he doesn't run. So he's tagged out, 1 away. Pete Buchanan trying to work some guys into the lineup tonight and work around the injuries that the Phillies have sustained recently. There's Andres Blanco, who's getting a chance to play again at second base tonight. His average at 296. 5 homers, 19 runs batted in. 92nd game for Andres Blanco. 33rd start for the Phillies utility man. Excellent numbers as a starter, as you could imagine just by watching the games. Hitting .319 as a starting player. Ground ball toward third. Escobar behind the bag. And 2 quick outs for Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez 7-5 lifetime against the Phils with an ERA of just over 3. He has won 90 games during his major league career. As Altair takes low, 1 ball, no strikes.
Gonzalez used to be very frustrating to face because you had no idea where that ball was going to go.
Effectively
and
wild.
Neither did he.
Yeah, effectively wild.
And he could throw one behind your back and then hit that low and away corner.
And he's got that good curveball, which you just saw there.
And he's got the great turn with the body. You know, when he brings his arms out, he turns and he hides the ball, and then he explodes. Right there with that turn, hides it, and then explodes.
Way outside, 2-2. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Ken McMinn of Pottstown. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Ken will win $200. Swing and a miss. Threw him 2 curveballs in this at bat. Strikes him out with the second one. And the Phillies go down in order. So 2 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. A quick first inning for both ball clubs as we go to the second. First place New York Mets for the last time in 2015. It's all part of the 3-game series. The 29th, 30th, and Thursday, October 1st. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Top of the second, Jason Worth is about to lead things off. Awagasha threw 12 pitches in the first inning tonight. Let's see what he's able to do as we go to the second. First pitch is up high, 1-0. The goal for the Nationals is to make those last 3 games against the Mets mean something. Now, that's going to be hard to do. Mets magic number is 11. Nationals are going to need an awful lot of help in order to accomplish that. 2-0 fastball is in there, 2-1. I should say the magic number is 10. And Jason Worth works out a walk. So leadoff walk for the Nationals outfielder. Clint Robinson's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, it seems like it's this time of the year where we have to continue to give you injury updates on some of the guys that are not with us right now. Cesar Hernandez being first and foremost. He had surgery this morning on his dislocated thumb. Scott Profrox told reporters today that surgery went well and that obviously he will not travel with the team when they leave tomorrow to head on their final road trip this season. But they do expect that Hernandez will be back with the team when they return for the final homestand. Obviously, he will not be playing for the rest of the season, but he will rejoin the team at that point. Also, Maikel Franco today making progress. He swung the bat today without any pain inside underneath with the batting cages. Then went outside and did some fielding practice with the team before the game. He is headed to Florida tomorrow. He is expected to play in some simulated games this week, and there is some thought that he could rejoin the team at the major league level as early as next weekend when the team is in Florida. There you see him. He's in good spirits, obviously. And when we talked to him today in the clubhouse, he's excited because he feels like, yeah, he's going to get a chance to come back and play in 2015. So that is good news for him. And also Elvis Araujo, who has been out since injuring his groin, is also heading to Florida tomorrow, and he will be involved in those simulated games as well. However, the idea is not to have him come back this season. They're just trying to get him ready and healthy for winter ball so that he can go play winter ball this offseason. So those are the three major updates on the injuries today, guys.
Yeah, and for Franco, the hope is he can come back. He wants to get to 15 home runs because then Jeff Francoeur will buy him a brand new suit.
Yes, that is correct. That is the motivation.
Yeah. But he also would like to get some swings in before he hits the offseason. And, you know, depending on what happens, whether he plays winter ball or not. There was also a very funny exchange today, Murph, about Ryan Howard, who is battling a sore knee at this point.
Well, that's true, too. He spoke to reporters today in the clubhouse, and when asked if he will play again this year, he said, I will play again this year. Print it. Write it right now and print it. So he is confident that he will play. However, he is still very sore. He's walking around without the crutches, but with a little bit of a limp, so he's waiting for that pain to go away, and then he's hoping that maybe in a few more days he can get back to some baseball activities and then back into the lineup. Pete Mackanin saying right now, day to day, they're going to just wait and see. When he feels better, he will be back in the lineup, but not before then. They need him to be 100% to get him back out on the field, guys.
Quick toss over to first. And when asked about how big the swelling got in his knee by Jim Salisbury of CSNPhilly.com, Howard said it was pretty good size, swelling in the knee. And Salisbury, Jimmy went on to say, grapefruit
like
size,
a grapefruit, yeah,
or like I think he said peach.
Coconut?
Coconut, yeah. He kept giving fruits, or in this case, the coconut being a nut.
And Ryan told him that he had not had time to consider his injury and his pantry all at the same time. So he would have to get back to him on that.
He said, I wasn't really thinking of it in terms of fruit. Well, earlier today, Ryan Howard was honored for his work in the community. Not only honored for being the Phillies nominee for the 2015 Roberto Clemente Award, but he was also presented with the 2015 Phillies Community Service Award, which is the highest community honor provided by the club to one player who has made a significant impact in the community over the course of the baseball season. His wife, Crystal, John Weber, one of the Phillies vice presidents, was there to present the 2015 Phillies Community Service Award to Ryan and his wife, Crystal. So congratulations to them. They do fantastic work.
Well deserved.
In the community. Meanwhile, we have a little predicament going on for Alec Asher. A line drive by Clint Robinson off the glove of Darren Ruff at first results in a single, and now runners on first and second for Ian Desmond. 0-2. to Desmond.
I asked Cesar Hernandez how long you figure are you going to be out for. He goes, 6 weeks. He wants to play winter ball end of December, 1st of January. Get some more swings and more reps.
It's not a bad goal.
Oh, no, not
depending on how the thumb is, but that's not a bad goal. I think the Phillies would be happy about that opportunity. 0-2 to Desmond. Check swing. Did he go? Well, the Nationals are really holding up on these check swings here tonight. 1-2. Popped him up. Darren Ruff will give it a look. He may run out of room, and he does. Ball did not come back toward him.
Murph, was that you yelling, "You got room," or was that Cameron Rupp?
That was not me. He did not have room, so that would have been rude had I yelled he had room. He would have gone toppling over. No, I don't know who was yelling that, honestly.
I think it was Cameron Rupp.
Well, he ran out of room.
Would have been rude. Just a bit outside and high. 2-2. .82 degrees currently here in Philadelphia. Very light breeze, barely noticeable.
The wind's blowing straight down.
Straight down.
Good day to hit.
Astros trying to put away Ian Desmond, who's fighting hard here.
And you saying trying to put him away is the exact same thing that Ben and I have talked about over his first 3 starts, is trying to find that pitch that can put hitters away. Because he's having no problems getting to 2 strikes. It's just finding that quality pitch and that very good pitch to put the hitters away.
Little tapper left side. Darno cuts it off, and it's dropped by Darren Ruff at first. 2 balls in this inning that Darren probably should have handled. That'll be an E3, and the bases are loaded.
Well, right in the heel. Almost took his glove off. See right there?
I was talking to somebody about that the other day, how today's age players don't always have the glove down below their wrist. It's up a little bit to get a little extension, but in that case it looked like it almost knocked it right off his hand. So the bases are loaded. Jose Lobaton, who's played in 1 game in this series. He came in late for Wilson Ramos after Ramos was pinch run for. Switch hitter batting left-handed, and he rips it to right field. Francoeur going back. He'll make the catch. Tagging from third is Worth. He'll score. Tagging from second is Robinson, and it's a 1-0 ball game. It'll be a sac fly.
I was just about to say, you got to be careful. First pitch, he absolutely loves swinging at the first pitch. Lobaton, but it was very nice play by Frenchie getting the ball on quick. I wonder if Freddie realized if he turned and threw to third, it would have been bang bang at third. Or it would have been close.
I peeked over to the right to see where Desmond was. Michael Taylor takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Taylor is 1 hit in this series so far. Runner goes from first. Pitch is swung on and missed. Throw to second base is not in time. Desmond got a very good jump. He was kind of timing Asher.
It's kind of interesting, too, that you steal second base.
Oh, he's out. Yep, they are going to review it, too. Boy, that is a great shot right there.
Watch his left leg.
Yep.
It pops up in the air right there.
Absolutely, and is tagged right on the backside. So he's going to be out. Called safe by Tim Welke.
Great view. That's a great shot.
Yeah. So we've shown you 3 shots, all very clear that he is out at second base. So this should not take all that long.
And it's interesting to see that he would steal in that situation, knowing that there's 1 strike on the hitter. Gonzalez is on deck, the pitcher.
Yeah, you got to make it.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah. And we thought he did, but Andres Blanco kind of gave an odd look. And again, a cannon by Cameron Rupp, because Desmond had an excellent jump on that.
He had a great jump. It was a tremendous throw, and it was a very good tag, catching the ball right over top of the bag.
Yeah, he's out there and not on the bag. Now he's on the bag, but the tag had already been applied.
Now, we talked about it a few times. What happens if the middle infielders are out in front of the bag?
Yeah.
They have to catch the ball, come back for the tag. Well, look where he receives the tag.
He's halfway,
and
basically.
He drops it straight down on the derriere. It's a nice throw.
So he is out. Tim Welke just signaled it. So 2 away. Now, to add to it, what you were talking about with Desmond, they could walk Taylor now and face Gonzalez.
They could. No balls, 2 strikes.
But, right, it's 0-2.
Yeah.
That's right. I thought it was 0-1. It's 0-2. So they will not. And a 12-second review. No balls, 2 strikes to Taylor with a runner at third base. Swing and a miss. He got him. There's an out pitch. Taylor's tagged out. Strikeout number 2 for Asher. Side is retired. A run does score, but that's it. Thanks to the arm of Cameron Rupp. We'll go to the bottom of the second with the Nationals up to 1-0. Six until 8. Weekday mornings, I should say, 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. One of the beautiful shots here in Philadelphia from Center City. Now, Gasher's allowed a run. It's an earned run, but it really isn't all his fault. His stuff looks better tonight than it has looked. He's got a bright future. There's no question about that. Jeff Francoeur will lead it off against Gio Gonzalez. It'll be Francoeur, Darren Ruff, and Darnell Sweeney. 0-1 to Jeff. .267, 12 homers, 43 runs batted in for Francoeur. Inside. Got himself a good pace going right now. He just struck out Francoeur. 3 strikeouts. So a night after Steven Strasburg struck out 14. Gio Gonzalez has 3 already. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Ruff 0 for 4 in this series. Boy, his numbers really are getting better and better against lefties. .369, 5 home runs. If he tighten it up a little bit more against righties, he might play a little bit more.
You're absolutely right. That's why, I mean, like I said earlier, you never want to see your teammates hurt, but you're going to get an opportunity to play, and you need to take full advantage of it.
Balls, 2 strikes. And a little high. Ball 4. First base runner for the Phillies. And Darnell Sweeney's coming up. Calling K through 5th grade students. The Phillies and the Ryan Howard Big Peace Foundation invite you to the ultimate back-to-school read-along event taking place at Citizens Bank Park on Saturday, October 3rd. Join Ryan and Crystal Howard as they make their book series, Little Rhino. Come alive during a pregame read-along event. Visit Phillies.com/readalong for more information. Sweeney 1 for 8 in the series, and he hits it foul off to the right. For 19 on this homestand. His average has dipped under 200, but one good day and it can jump up pretty quickly since he only has 54 at bats. Out to shortstop. That might be 2. Tough to double up Sweeney, and they do. 6-4-3 double play, and the side is retired. The Nationals didn't realize it, but we're going to go to the 3rd anyway with the Nats up 1-0. information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Matt, who are the only two current franchises to have not played in a World Series? The only two current franchises to have not played in a World Series. The answer will be revealed a little later on. Well, we mentioned that the Nationals forgot the outs, but Gio Gonzalez was there to confirm everything for everybody.
So nice play. Double play means 3 outs. Double play.
Well, it's a long season.
That means 3.
Yeah. So he'll lead things off. Well, Rendon was the one who sold it first, and then he was starting to throw it around, and Desmond bought in. Asher's first pitch is in there for strike one. Popped him up. Chase Darno into foul territory. And back to the top of the order now for Anthony Rendon. Think Energy, the smart choice to power your home. Go to mythinkenergy.com/Phillies. Rendon struck out looking his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Rendon pops it foul toward the Hall of Fame club. Over to third. Big hop for Darno. And there are 2 outs.
Darren wasn't missing that one.
No, he was watching it right into his glove.
And he went after that ball. I mean, by going after it, he went out to catch it. He wasn't letting it get a little deep.
Yeah, right into the webbing. Well, you know, Escobar is taking care of his area. Top of the batter's box. He lined out sharply to Galvis his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Good pitch.
I used to dig, after we see this real nice slider. Good break straight down. Good velocity on the slider as well. Another one. I used to dig a hole, you know, and I'd get my foot. I kind of had my back foot a little different. I had that at an angle. So I would dig, step up, look for the sign. Pudge Rodriguez used to fill the hole up all the time after I dug it with dirt.
While you were stepping out of the box?
Oh, yeah, step out and he'd fill it up.
And then you dig it out again?
Well, yeah, but eventually, I mean, we used to. I'm telling you, umpires used to think that we hated each other because I would take the backswing as I'm getting my sign and hit him in the face mask on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'd walk up, he'd punch me in the ribs.
Swing and a miss. Boy, he threw 3 really good sliders against Yunel Escobar. He picks up his 3rd strikeout. He has found that out pitch, at least for tonight. Nothing across for Washington. Alec Asher with 3 strikeouts. He's allowed 1 run through his first 3 innings of work as we move to the bottom of the 3rd. It's almost that time for the fans' plays of the year. Make sure you tune in on Tuesday, September 22nd, before the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. That is when we will air the good, the great, the bad, and the downright ugly when it comes to the fans' plays of the year. It's always enjoyable, and we have had some exceptional plays this season, just like any other year. But I think this year there's been, I don't know if we've captured more of them, if we're keeping an eye out a little bit more because we watch so much of them. But we've had some great plays, including the one the other night on Cody Ashley's home run. 1-2 to d'Arnaud.
I still like the one that was to our left that day. We had the weekends with Schmitty. Baby, bare hand.
Yeah. That one received a lot of national attention too.
Yes. And he got an autograph from Schmitty on it.
The tapper foul remains 1-2. Chase d'Arnaud first got to the big leagues with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Swing and a miss. He strikes out. That's 4. I should say, yeah, that's 4. Phillies baseball is brought to you by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. And buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Fanatics up to something. Cameron Rupp takes on the outside corner. Rupp is 1 for 4 in this series. 234 with 8 home runs. 25 runs batted in. Broken bat, base hit. And that is the first hit for the Phils.
I like it. Good approach of hitting right there. Even though he did break his bat, he still stayed up the middle, which is nice to see, especially with the way he's been swinging the bat lately and pulling off the ball. See how all of a sudden that shoulder, look at the head stay down. That's how you stay through a baseball.
Asher takes an attempt to bunt it, and he misses it. It's a strike, 0-1. Alec is 0 for 3 as a hitter in the big leagues. I know you don't like his setup right now, Matt, the way he's got the bat.
Well, no, if it's comfortable for him, I guess. I don't like the fact that he's turned around way too early. Bring it towards me the barrel.
Just jab it at it too.
Yeah, that's why you need to. I never bunt it very often. I know it's very hard, but I will say I practiced it a lot. I thought I had pretty good technique to it. But you just need to step towards the pitcher a little bit and leave it there. I said that a little louder, hoping he might have heard me.
Only if we were in the first row.
And it's funny because when you bring the bat out to bunt, everything revolves around your legs, going up and down. You do not move the barrel. You just leave it there.
He took a healthy cut, but he is struck out. Strikeout number 5. And back to the top of the order for Galvis.
We'll see if the second time around in the order these guys can get their timing down a little bit. All the hitters except for Cameron have been late getting in a set position.
Why is that? They've seen Gio so many times before.
Well, a lot has to do with yesterday's game. Striking out a lot. Guys like that can put you in, get your timing off. You got 14 punch-outs yesterday.
Already 5 here tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes, an off-speed pitch. Galvis.
And I hate to say it, but that's 34 in a 3-game series.
That's a lot of strikeouts.
They had 15 the first night versus Zimmerman in the bullpen.
Yeah, they had 15. The Nationals struck out 15 times. That one's floated out toward right center field. Harper sprints under it. Phillies are retired. They get their first hit, but they leave 1. We've completed 3 here in Philadelphia. On to the 4th. It's 1-0 Nets.
Inning for the Washington Nationals, and I don't know about you, but do you get the opinion? Do you get the idea that Jason Worth is always doing damage against the Philadelphia Phillies? It certainly seems that way. But you take a look at his career numbers versus the Phils, 67 games. It is the cold hard fact brought to you by Coors Light. And Tom, help me out with the Coors Light Cold Hard Fact.
All right, Murph, so this is what we're talking about. We're talking about the Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. We're going to talk about Jason Worth in a moment, but first we're going to talk about Bryce Harper, who has the lowest at-bat home run ratio in Major League Baseball. He homers every 11.9 plate appearances. Now, Matt, put that in a little perspective for us.
Well, doing some research, and I'm going to compare him with Barry Bonds in 2001. All right, whatever, back in the day. 73 home runs and 476 at-bats. Barry Bonds that year, 6.5 home runs per at-bat.
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
No, home run every 6.5 at-bats.
Right. And Bryce Harper, if he continues doing this throughout his career, he would be in 3rd in the Major League history of home runs per at-bat.
I mean, he's on a torrid pace this year. With all the home runs he's hit, 39 home runs. But Barry Bonds, whether he used performance enhancement or not, a home run every 6.5 at-bats. That's a remarkable feat. But what Harper's doing this year is a remarkable feat. It's that one foul, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And we broke down the top 5. Mark McGwire, 10.6. Babe Ruth, 11.8. Barry Bonds, 12.9. Jim Thome, 13.8. And Ralph Kiner, 14.1 is the top 5 in the history of the game.
Ralph Kiner hit a lot of home runs in a short period of time. Way upstairs, 2-2 to Harper. Well, it's all part of the special season that Bryce Harper is having. Swing and a miss. And Alec Asher has struck him out. 4 strikeouts for Asher. He went upstairs with that fastball. And Jason Worth is coming up. Jason walked and scored. His first time up.
Interesting, you don't see Bryce Harper swing at those type of pitches usually.
That one is whacked to deep left field. Sweeney going back, and it is gone. Jason Worth, who doesn't often swing at the first pitch, ambushed that pitch right there. And it's now 2-0 in favor of the Nationals. Home run, 37 RBIs for Jason.
Yeah, you're right. He usually doesn't swing at the first pitch, but unfortunately missed his target. The ball was elevated a little bit. We saw in the first game of the 3-game series, the grand slam and the solo shot in the 10th, up and in.
High fly ball to right center field. Francoeur will make the catch. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Well, for Jason, 3 home runs in this series, 10 home runs on the year. Just doesn't often go after the first pitch. Out of play. 0-1.
Desmond, on the other hand, loves that.
Sure he does.
I would say almost every at bat this series he's had an off-speed pitch to start him off with.
Just a bit outside, 2-1. Lobatone on deck. He has the other RBI tonight. Well, that's a good pitch right there.
Last 4 balls that Asher's thrown have been very good. Fastball away, fastball in, slider down, that fastball right there. At least he's down in the zone.
Ground ball left side. Galvis has it. The side is retired, but a home run by Jason Worth. His 10th of the year, his 3rd of this series, has extended the lead for the Nationals on top 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. send Andres Blanco, Aaron Altair, Jeff Francoeur to the plate. Jason Worth's solo home run has given the Nationals a 2-0 lead. And Murph, he seems to like to hit against his former team.
Yeah, he does. Remember that time I was supposed to talk about Harper and I talked about Worth?
I remember that.
I'm going to talk about Worth right now.
And you're going to be ready for it,
yes.
too.
And you have an update.
And I do. I was about to tell you that Jason Worth likes to hit against his old team and likes to hit in Citizens Bank Park. And we saw a little bit of evidence of that in the last half inning. But, you know, honestly, it seems as though he does all kinds of damage against the Phillies when he is playing against them. But if you look at his career numbers, 67 games, 267, 11 home runs now, 47 RBIs. They're decent numbers, but they're not off-the-chart numbers that you see some guys have against particular teams. But, you know, he's one of those guys that just seems to step up in the moments that they need it most. You think back to Game 1 of this series when he had a handful of RBIs, he had the grand slam and the other home run. So he is a guy that has done some damage against his former team. And, guys, would you believe this? That he has played more games now for the Washington Nationals.
I saw that.
Than he did for the Philadelphia Phillies. I think that is unbelievable. It felt like Jason was here for such a long time. He was here for 4 seasons. He's been in Washington for 5 seasons now. That's hard to believe.
He had such an impactful time here in Philadelphia. I mean, let's face it. They wouldn't have won the 2008 World Series without Matt hitting the home run against the Dodgers. But they wouldn't have gotten there without Jason Worth. I mean, he was a huge piece to that puzzle. And beyond. Blanco will get a base hit, an infield hit to lead off this 4th inning. And Matt, I know that he's one of your favorite teammates of all time, too.
Yep, he is. He's a guy that he really is. He cares. He comes to the ballpark every day. He wants to win. And I think it seems like, you know, he was here for 4 years. He played every game. He was out there the whole time. He played. He had fun. Truly a very good teammate.
Here's Aaron Altair, who struck out his first time up. That base hit, by the way, for the Phils, just their second one. Outside by Gio Gonzalez, 1-0.
And he has success against the Phillies because he doesn't try too hard. He just, you know, he's a happy-go-lucky guy. If I get him, I get him. If I don't, we'll get him the next at-bat. I guess $107 million might help, but he just doesn't. He never puts too much pressure on himself.
Is he happy-go-lucky?
Well, around me he was.
Swinging a miss at a curveball. It's 1-2. Ball gets away. So the backswing, we heard it hit the catcher, and they're going to say that's backswing interference. It is a rule. Sometimes I think it's a good rule. Sometimes I think there should be an interpretation to it, because in all honesty, the ball was by him or away from him when the bat hit him in the head. But it is a rule.
Well, you can see the big swing.
Ball's
there goes
him.
the ball. Now the contact is made. Yeah, that's an area where I think that the rule should change a little bit as well.
And you know, Matt, it's not something that we see that often, but when we do, it is part of the rule book. But it should be open to interpretation. Because you saw how far the ball was away from the catcher, and Blanco had taken off at that point.
The only reason why he got hit in the head with the bat is because he came forward to block the ball. If he stayed in his normal position, it would never have clipped him in the head.
1 ball and no strikes to Francoeur. Outside corner. It's 1-1.
Going back inside.
There's the beads that the fans out in right field are wearing in honor of Jeff Francoeur, the French corner. Frenchie. Said in Kansas City, they just started showing up wearing. Swing and a miss. He got him with a high fastball. 7 strikeouts for Gonzalez. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop Nissan.com. And by Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. On the foot of Harry the K's restaurant is that beautiful statue. During the rain delay the other day, showed the feature of the making of the Harry Callis statue. I've watched it a bunch of times, but it was really neat just watching the whole process of putting that statue together. In the air to left field. That is a bomb. Wow, that's going to tie up this ball game. A long home run for Darren Ruff. And the Phillies have tied it up at 2. Same guy that got the home run off the bat of Jason Worth just got the home run off the bat of Darren Ruff. Here's Worth's. That one bounced and he grabbed it from the floor. This one he actually caught. What a great catch. Out towards center field. Playable for Taylor. By the way, Ken McMinn of Pottstown, Pennsylvania has just won $200 thanks to the McDonald's home run jackpot. Phillies have tied up the Nationals 2-2 as we go to the 5th. All right, Matt, here we go. Who are the only two current franchises to have not played in a World Series? One is a National League team. The other one is an American League team.
Well, Montreal and Washington combined is make one.
That is correct. The other team was supposed to be very good this year, but has turned out to be very bad this year. At least on paper, they were thought to be very good.
Seattle? No.
Who did you say?
Seattle.
Seattle is correct, Matt. Congratulations. Log back on the Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. So here we are. It's a 2-2 ball game. Darren Ruff's home run, a blast to left center field, tied it up, his 8th of the year. Lobaton starts off the 5th inning with a single. So he's aboard. He has an RBI tonight, and now he has a single. And Michael Towers coming up. At the knees, 1-1. Line drive, base hit it to left field. So back-to-back singles for the Nationals, and that puts runners on first and second. Headed into extra innings and need a boost? Call W.B. Mason and order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup Pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. W.B. Mason knocks it out of the park. Move up, W.B. So Gio's up there, I would think, to.
It's okay.
He done a bunt.
Bunt.
Yep.
This is where you want to try to get to the out at third base.
Mm-hmm. If you can.
If you can. Lobaton doesn't run very well. They're keeping him very close at second base.
He bunts it back toward the mound, and it's far enough, I guess, away for them to just get the out at first base. If Darno had gone back, did they have a play at third, you think? And if Rupp had fielded it?
Well, it would have been close.
1-4 on the put out.
See what Darno is. Now he comes in. Now, you know, it would have been close.
Yeah, I think they would have had him.
I think so, too.
If Rupp had picked it up.
But you see Darno coming in, pointing. The captain on that play right there is the catcher. He's the eyes for the pitcher or the infielders that field the ground ball.
Line drive, foul. And it's 0-2. Well, Alec Asher is going to have to do a little pitching here to get out of this without any more damage done. Line drive, base hit it to center field. One run is in, rounding third, heading for home is Taylor. Throw to the plate is cut off, and now they've got Taylor caught between third and home. Well, that was peculiar. See if Darno can run him down. Asher's involved now in the rundown. One run does score. It's 3-2 Nationals, but the Phillies are able to get the runner in a rundown. Now, there's some issue.
They're saying that there was interference on Rupp when he threw the ball back to third, but Taylor threw his elbow out to make contact with the defender.
Okay. I didn't see that. So an RBI single for Rendon.
And I don't think I've ever seen a runner ever stop that far down the line. Here's Cameron. Now he's on, okay, right here. He never even touched him.
Yeah, it looked like.
Well, Cameron's on this side of the play. He needs to stay on that side of the play. You cannot crisscross over the line.
Yeah, he did not hamper him at all.
No. So if the way he went after running him, Darno has to get on the other side of the bag and give him a better feed to throw to.
8-3-2-5-1 is the put out. And a liner out toward right center field. That'll be in for a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the scoreboard. A run will score. And Escobar will pull into second with an RBI opposite field double. And it's now 4-2. So what was a 2-run lead erased by the Phils and a home run by Ruff is back to a 2-run lead for the Nationals.
Breaking ball. Up a little bit. Escobar being very aggressive. Altair kind of takes a little wrong route to cut that ball off. But goes back to having a no ball, 2-strike count on Rendon. And him hitting the base hit up the middle.
Here's Harper with first base open. Phillies down by 2. And a line drive base hit it to center field. Escobar around third. Heading for home. The throw by Altair over the head of Ruff. And he is out at home plate. Jason Worth is saying he's safe. They may hold the defense here. I wasn't sure if it was right for Altair to overthrow the cutoff man like that, but it turned out to be a strong throw, and right now the call is out at home plate. Take a look at it. They are going to review it. Boy, he
looks safe.
Yeah, it looked like the foot hit the plate. Gets him right there.
So I think he missed the front leg and hit the back leg.
You do. I thought he got the front leg, but I couldn't tell whether the foot hit the plate before he got the front leg. So right there, the foot is
on home plate.
Is it?
Yep.
See right there, he tagged him.
He basically tagged him on top of home plate.
I just didn't know if the foot popped up or not.
This would be the good angle right here.
Well, this may go down as a run and another RBI for Bryce Harper. We will wait and see. This is a good angle right here. Right. See there, he's got the toe. He hit the toe, and I can't tell if the foot hit the plate or not. I'm assuming it did. See right there, it's up, and there's the tag. Tim Walkie to your right, the home plate umpire Chris Siegel to your left. It's the whole popping up of the foot, man. I can't tell whether it popped up right before it hit the plate or it popped up when it hit the plate. I don't think they had a chance to get him. So right there, is the foot on the plate? It looks like it is. Yeah, they're gonna keep it. They're gonna say he's out. The Nationals cannot believe it. I just don't know if it's clear that his foot is off above the plate or not. Matt Williams is not happy, but Tim Walkie's saying, hey, it's not our call. It is New York's call. So it's a 2-run lead for the Nationals instead of a 3-run lead on the outfield assist by Aaron Altair. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's the Nationals 4 and the Phillies 2. The 2015 regular season. It all finishes up on Sunday, October 4th at 3:05 with Fan Appreciation Day. All fans will receive the 2016 schedule magnet when they come to the yard, and there'll be plenty of prizes and surprises on that final game of the regular season. Chase Darno will lead it off. Again, the Nationals lead it by 2. Phillies have bullpen action, so we may have seen the last of Alec Asher here tonight. He pitched well up until the 5th inning. I mean, he gave up 5 hits in the 5th inning. Outside.
I don't think I've ever seen 5 hits, a sac bunt, and 2 outfield assists before in the same inning. I'm still trying to figure out what Taylor was doing running.
Stopping or even running?
Stopping.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. One ball and 2 strikes to Darno. And Darno strikes out. 8 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez, and we're only in the 5th inning.
Good changeup. Darno way in front of him. We're lucky that it's only
no question
2 runs in the 5th inning.
No question. Curveball inside. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. The Jays lead the Braves 5-1. Russell Martin has a couple RBIs. Blue Jays and the Yankees are locked in a battle for the American League East. Ground ball back toward the middle, and Rupp has his 2nd hit. Stay through the middle, big boy.
Very good. Take a look at his front foot. He's got it turned in just a little bit, which causes that front to hit to stay closed and allows him to make the contact, then rotate. Where before the foot was a little wider open, and as he was striding, he was already landing open, and the front side was gone to left field. So now front toe closed, tightens everything up. Now the direction's back towards the pitcher.
Swing and a miss by Eric Kratz, who's pinch hitting for Alec Asher. Hector Neris is warming up in the bullpen. He'll be first up out of the pen. Opposite way, base hit for Eric Kratz. Cameron Rupp will stop at second. First and second for Freddie Galvis.
It's a nice swing. Back-to-back pitches, the exact same spot. Pulled off the first pitch, second pitch, went with the ball and hit the ball to right field.
Oh, now it brings the go-ahead run to the plate with one man down. The tying runs are aboard. By the way, the explanation that we've been given by Major League Baseball about the play at the plate is that Escobar's foot was above the plate. At least that's what they saw.
Call. That's a good call on your part, Tom.
Well, but I'm not sure if it was, but I couldn't tell whether it wasn't. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not sure if it's right, but I don't know if they had conclusive evidence to say that it wasn't.
Still,
I still go back to that one. Well, I still go back to the one earlier this year, and that's the only reason I thought that, when the Phillies had a guy that was safe at the plate, and we couldn't imagine why it was overturned, and it was the same type of situation. 0-2 to Galvis with runners on first and second. In the dirt. This is the shot. Now right there, I don't know if the foot is at the plate or not. Right there, it's above it. That's what the thought is.
Which is interesting because you have no idea where the middle of his foot is.
Escobar goes to second, and they get Kratz. Cameron Rupp does get past the tag to go to third. 5-4 on the putout. Here's another look at it. Right there. You can't tell whether the foot is above the plate or not. It looked like it was up, but it was shielded by Rupp when he made the tag. I just don't think they had enough evidence to overturn it.
I don't know, but it was an awful good throw from Altera.
And they needed it.
Yep.
They needed the base running, the outs on the base paths to get through that inning by allowing just 2 runs. Blanco is looking to give the Phils the lead there on that swing.
I don't think Gio Gonzalez can stand any further on the third base side of that rubber. Like he is on that rubber with just the top of his toe.
Just has to have a piece of that toe on that rubber.
Maybe he's got more than I thought.
Yeah.
Good about half.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Blanco. Inside, 2-2. Blanco had an infield hit his last time up. Galvis goes, pitches, hit foul. Toyota Major League scoreboard. Oh, wow. The Rangers are shutting out the Astros in the bottom of the first. Napoli's been a decent pickup. 3-run home run. They're in first place. The Rangers are trying to stretch it now. High fastball cut on a missed on the side. He's retired. A couple more strikeouts. 9 overall for Gonzalez. Phillies lead 2. On to the 6th inning here in Philadelphia. 4-2 Nationals. Continuing to put together a very impressive first season. Out of the Rule 5 draft and into the lineup, Odubel Herrera is covering all parts of the Phillies outfield and is among the best NL rookies in average, doubles, infield hits, and stolen bases. He is the first Philly with 25 doubles and 14 steals since Jimmy Rollins did so in 2001. El Torito has grabbed the bull by the horns in 2015. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. We go to the top of the 6th inning. El Torito is not playing tonight for the Phillies. Hector Neris is, though. He's in, taking over for Alec Asher. And Neris will face Jason Worth, Clint Robinson, Ian Desmond. 2-2 for Hector with 3.86 ERA. 37 strikeouts and 35 innings of work. Worth has scored 2 runs today. He's walked and scored. He also homered in the 4th inning and scored. In there for strike 1. Asher goes 5 innings, allows 7 hits and 4 runs. A walk and 4 strikeouts. 7 hits, but Matt, 5 of those hits came in the 5th inning.
Yep.
And quickly, too.
It was very quickly, but what I like, though, is that I saw the velocity jumping up tonight. We saw 95. At times, he showed a very good signs of a very good slider. Unfortunately, with Rendon, he could not put him away. With that base hit up the middle with 0-2.
Inside to Worth, 2-1.
Baby steps, right?
Yeah, I mean, his fastball had some life on it today.
I liked his fastball today.
Yeah. Out toward left center field. That ball is wide, and it is gone. Another home run for Jason Worth. It's his second one of the ball game. So he's had 2 games in this series where he has 2 home runs. Worth's going to have to update his numbers.
I prefer not to keep updating these numbers.
Well, he's definitely found his home run swing this series. And when you miss your target down the middle, that's what happens. Extension and loud.
Foul tip, and it's 0-1. Both of his 2 home run games have come in this series. Little number foul.
Tell you the way Washington's playing right now, relaxed. They're going to be tough to beat. I know they're in second place, and the New York Mets are in first place, and yada yada yada. But all the talk now is about the Mets and these guys not making the playoffs. It's amazing how all of a sudden the momentum can change back into your favor of playing with all the relaxation.
Out to left center field, Sweeney and Altair will watch it go off the wall. And Robinson will pull into second base with his second hit of the night. Desmond's now coming up. 9 hits now for Washington. That ball is smoked into the alley in right center field. Robinson's going to coast home from second, and Desmond's going to pull into second. 3 straight extra base hits for the Nationals. And it's now 6-2. Bob McClure coming out. Jose Lobaton is due up. Phillies will get the bullpen, I would think, up momentarily. Hector's not missing many bats in this little outing here.
No, the only thing he's missing is a target, where he's supposed to throw it. And the home run to Jason supposed to be away. Ball came back in the middle of the plate. Robinson's doubled left field, and then that doubled to right center. 3 pitches, 3 bad locations. Especially with J. Dub's fastball and the home run he hit. And you can see the glove blowing away. Result up and in right in the middle of the plate. Robinson, they want this ball blowing away. Not a bad pitch. Change up a little bit though. And then Desmond, they want it down low again. Look where the location is. Thigh high. Big league hitters do not miss those pitches. Now Robinson's ball hit wasn't that bad, but it was still up just a little bit where he could barrel it.
Lobaton takes way outside, 1-0. Down the left field line. Darnell Sweeney on the run. It'll slice out of play. Oh, great catch. Change up, and it's 2-2.
Narson's throwing more fastballs tonight than I think the whole year.
Yeah. Inside, ball 4. And that'll put runners on first and second. Phillies' favorite sports blog is now a TV show. Tomorrow night, the Phillies' own Dan Baker stops by for some fun and games. And Brett Myers is a country music star. He's telling us all about it, his next career move. Check out the 700 Level show tomorrow night at 5:30 and 10:30 over on the Comcast Network. You know, I had mentioned that the Phillies were getting somebody up in the bullpen. They are not.
They are now.
Yeah, now they are. Dalier Hinojosa is starting to loosen just now. Ground ball over to third. This could be 2. Darno quickly to second for 1. And around the horn double play. That's helpful. Gio Gonzalez is coming up with a runner at third base. Even that split right there was not where he wanted it to go.
Yeah, it was up in the zone.
Oh, it was a slider. Okay.
Yeah. Getting underneath it, though.
Yep. Fly ball to center field. Aaron Altair is out there. He's under it. And the inning is over. But 2 more runs score. 3 hits in the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, 6-2. With a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. of the 6th inning. That's a good night to be at the ballpark. The Phillies, though, trail it by 4. They've been handled by Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez has 9 strikeouts. He's allowed the 2 runs on the monster home run by Darren Ruff, but that's been it. Hector Neris just allowed a couple of runs. Justin DeFreitas is up and throwing in the pen. Aaron Altair will lead it off. There's DeFreitas. Well, the numbers for the Phillies pitchers have not been great during this month of September. The starters' ERA 7.61 coming into tonight's ball game. And the relievers, aside from Ken Giles, haven't really been much better, unfortunately. Well, 1 pitch is in there to Altair. It's 0-2. Chopper toward the left side. Boy, his curveball has some depth from time to time tonight. And Altair is out at first. He was moving up the line. Pete McCann just asked the home plate umpire to hang on a second. They're going to take a peek at it. Phillies won a challenge earlier tonight. The Nationals lost a challenge. Yeah, he's out.
He's out. Good call.
That big last step, the high last step. So those should go down as a put out for the first baseman. Jeff Francoeur is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, guys, as you know, because you were down in the clubhouse before the game, a lot of activity happening in the clubhouse with the players filling out their Player of the Year ballots that they do for the Players Association. They all get a piece of paper, and it has 4 categories on it: Player of the Year, Pitcher of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year. And every player in Major League Baseball gets 1 vote on that. And the National League players vote, and the American League players vote for American League guys. So Phillies players were doing that today. We decided, why not fill out our own ballot? So this is my ballot for Player of the Year. As much as it pains me, I think you got to go with Bryce Harper. His numbers are ridiculous: 338, 39 home runs, 90 RBIs as well. Pitcher of the Year, Zach Greinke for me, 17-3 with a 1.61 ERA. Rookie of the Year, we just saw him with the Chicago Cubs, Chris Bryant. Across the board, maybe not batting average, but everything else, the power numbers are off the charts. He leads in almost all categories. And Comeback Player of the Year, this is a tough one, but we were talking about it down in the clubhouse with a couple of players. And the guy that just shot that one deep and foul to left field is getting a lot of votes. Jeff Francoeur, who you remember played most of the year last year in the minor leagues and has come back to do what he's done with the Phils, 265 to 12 home runs this season, and really has had a very, very good season for the Phillies as a utility guy. So Jeff Francoeur, who continues to launch them foul down the left field line, is getting some votes, and I think deservedly so. Another name on that list, probably going to get a lot of votes, Matt Harvey for the New York Mets, who's coming back from Tommy John and had a terrific season as well. So we'll see if Jeff Francoeur wins that award.
Yeah, and I think that it depends on how you look at it. Is it come back from injury, or is it come back from, well, in Jeff's case, from the minor leagues? Almost a full year in the minor leagues.
Yeah, and I think that's, and Murph and Tom, we've talked about it with Scott in L.A. in the office, is how do you determine that award? Are you coming back from a bad season to be a good player again?
I think it could be either one. I think that it's whatever you feel. I've always thought it's coming back from a bad season.
So a guy like A.J. Burnett, who was, had a pretty bad season with the Phils a year ago and was an all-star in Pittsburgh this year, he would be under consideration in that category at that point.
See, and that's where I disagree with those type of names. Like Casey McGee, when he won a Comeback Player of the Year, he was not in Major League Baseball the year prior to that. He was in Japan, came back to the big leagues, and got Comeback Player of the Year.
Did you agree with that or no?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you did?
Absolutely. Frenchie, I agree 100%. He would be my vote because he had, 13 at-bats last year in the big leagues? Played the whole season in the minor leagues. Back in the big leagues, 265, 12, 43. That's my comeback player of the year.
I would agree with you. I would call him that too.
Well, he just got 3 votes then.
We don't vote.
No.
He strikes out for the 3rd time tonight.
Now he's going to be. It is going to be a battle between probably him and Matt Harvey from New York Mets, the guy who was on the disabled list with Tommy John, coming back, having a tremendous year for the Mets. So that's the guys I'm looking at for comeback players of the year, not because someone stunk last year and they came back and had a good year.
Darren Ruff fouls it back. 0-1 to Ruff, who homered his last time up. 401 feet was the home run for Ruff. He's behind 0-2.
And Murph, I like all your votes, but I'm going to disagree with one of them.
Oh, okay.
On your pitcher of the year, I'm going with Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, I believe me. I gave him consideration. 19-3 with a 1.99 ERA. He had the no-hitter.
Going for 20 tonight.
Yeah, going for number 20 tonight. But, you know, Zach Greinke with the 1.61 ERA and what he's been able to do, well, either gentleman is worthy, that's for sure.
His numbers, Arrieta's numbers since the All-Star break are some of the best the baseball's seen in the last 30 years.
All right, cross out Greinke and put on Arrieta.
No.
I'm swayed.
No, keep your vote. I mean, it's.
No, you know, you sold me.
I look at the whole picture of, would LA be in the playoffs without Greinke? Yes, I believe they would.
You think they would?
I would. I honestly believe they would. Are you going to be in the playoffs without Jake in Chicago? No chance. No chance.
Yeah, I think that if the Dodgers didn't have Greinke, I don't know if they would be able to hold off the Giants.
Yeah, I agree with that part of it.
Way outside, ball 4. Ruff draws a walk. But I do think that one's going to, I mean, believe me, if you look at the sabermetric numbers, which people do, if you look at the fact that his ERA is lighter than Arrieta's, his WAR is just under what Bryce Harper's is, and Harper leads the National League, and people will look at that. I don't know if everybody even understands what WAR is or how it's statistically put together. But I think that Arrieta's had a wonderful year, as that one is hit to the opposite way toward right field. Harper is at the track, makes the catch. I think most people would probably lean toward Greinke, but that's why those awards are so good, because they're always open for debates. On to the 7th inning here in Philadelphia. Time for your local Honda dealers game summary as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Yeah, Jason Worth has had a very good series. He's hit 4 home runs against the Phils in 3 games. Gio Gonzalez, 10 strikeouts tonight in 6 innings of work. Phillies have gotten 2 runs from Darren Ruff's 401-foot home run, his 8th of the year. And Justin Freitas now will take over for Hector Neris, who is credited with 1 inning of work. 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and no strikeouts for Hector. So Justin 0-2, 5.67 ERA. This will be his 3rd appearance on this homestand. Anthony Rendon has 1 hit and an RBI tonight. He's 1 for 3. First pitch fastball is in there. It's 0-1. And Rendon is hit by a pitch. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Escobar 1 for 3 with an RBI double his last time up. Interesting that he would show bunt up by 4.
If they just told him to swing the bat. Third base coach, everyone's whistling from the dugout. Swing the bat. We need to see a very good, a really nice 2-seam fastball from DeFreitas or a really good slider. I'd like to see him, the remainder of the games this year, is try to find that sinker that he had last year. Because it was nasty last year.
His slider was also very good last year.
And it was. And he could throw a slider last year when he wanted to for strikes. This year he's just over snapping it a little too long. It's not even being close to swinging.
Inside, and it's 2-2 to Escobar. No swing, says Mike Everett in the first base coach's box.
Now that was a good 2-seamer.
See the difference. 1 year ago, an ERA of 2.52 for DeFreitas. When he came back from the minor leagues, he had exceeded everybody's expectations. Good pitch. That was a slider at 81. One away. Bryce Harper's coming up, and it's time for our Geico quote of the day. And it's Harper, I'm playing for Matt Williams. He wants us to be perfect, and I love that as a manager. I played for a guy like that in high school, and my dad is exactly like that also. So being able to come in every single day and have that approach to win ball games and playing for a guy like that is fun. I love Matt and seeing what he thinks about hitting. He was an excellent hitter. And I would think that that does lend itself to some success. But he's been under fire this year because of his bullpen. It's not all his doing, but some of his moves have been under fire. In fact, that those two Mets series, they had leads in all 6 of those games that they played, which the Mets won all 6 of those games. That's remarkable.
Especially just the last series.
Yeah.
7-1, 5-2, and a 2-1 lead, but
still a lead.
Yes.
Fly ball right center field. Towering shot. Altair toward the scoreboard. It is gone. 2-run home run for Bryce Harper. It is number 40 on the year. 8-2. Nationals on top. For Harper in this series. 4 home runs for Jason Worth in this series.
Location supposed to be in, up in the zone. Man, he admires every home run he hits.
Yeah, I didn't know if that one was going to get out. He seemed to know it was going to get out. Majestic.
Special number at number 40. 30, 40.
That one's to right center field and well hit, but Francoeur on the edge of the track will make the catch. 2 outs. And Robinson will be the hitter. Runs on 11 hits for the Nationals.
I didn't see it, but it was that the bad or the ugly?
Well, I think it was the comical. Fly ball right field, playable for Francoeur. He comes running in. The ball was off the end of Robinson's bat. Side is retired, but Harper hits his 4th home run of the series. A 2-run bomb to right center field. And as we stretch here at Philadelphia, the Nationals lead the Phils 8-2. Are getting ready for the bottom of the 7th inning here. Gio Gonzalez has struck out 10 so far. And he'll go to work against Chase Darno, a guy that he's gotten twice. Cue shot, and it stays foul, 0-1. Matt, give me a thought on why Gio Gonzalez is doing what he's doing tonight. I mean, I think curveball is a big deal. But is there something else that he's doing that's really noticeable?
Pitching in very well to right-handers. I mean, he's throwing the fastball in there. I guess that's all we have is right-handers, but he's throwing the ball to right-handers very good. And when he's missing, he's just missing them a little bit. He's mixing in some very good slow curveballs. You break down our strikeouts tonight. 4 have come on changeups, 4 have come on fastballs, 2 have come on curveballs. So he's mixing up his pitches very well.
In the dirt, 1-2. Swing and a miss. 3 strikeouts now for Darno. 11 tonight for Gio Gonzalez. Time to take a look at a photo. Murph, what do you got, buddy?
Well, Tom, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. And today's photo comes from Phil's fan 46, representing the Phillies at the Field of Dreams. Is this heaven? I love that. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Philly Photo Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in upcoming broadcasts, all brought to you by T-Mobile. Look at that corn.
Baseball field is still cut out in the middle of all that corn out in Iowa.
That's right.
Just celebrated the 25th anniversary of that movie, The Field of Dreams. In fact, the MLB Network did a huge documentary on it that sort of sandwiched the movie itself. It was awesome. Bob Costas was out at the site with Kevin Costner and Timothy Busfield, 2 of the actors that were obviously in that movie.
Tom, I'll be headed out there in late October with my dad. Taking him out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do, fly to Chicago and drive? Is that how you're doing
That's exactly what we're going to do, yep. It's his 70th birthday present.
Was it a surprise? Did Bill know that? Or
No, he had no idea.
Oh, shoot.
No, he knows now. I gave it to him.
Gio flips it to first. Yeah, there are 2 outs. And Bogusevic is coming up. Well, this may be the last inning for Gio.
And another reason why he's throwing so well tonight.
Yeah.
75 strikes, 30 balls.
Same pattern as Strasburg, just different. I mean, obviously different stuff, but same pattern as Strasburg. No strikes.
That's why I think it's so important to throw in a couple of left-handers to get him out of his rhythm. And that's not tonight.
Yeah, you've said that before, though, against certain lefties, throwing some lefties.
But I think it's and a lot of teams do it, especially versus righties or lefties. But you need to throw a left-handed hitter in there. You have to.
So the average speed of his pitches here this evening. Two and 2 to Bogusevic. Pinch hitting tonight here in the bottom of the 7th. Phillies down 8-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. 12 strikeouts for Gio Gonzalez. He strikes out 2 in this inning. And the side is retired. 7 in the books. Another dominating strikeout night for Nationals pitchers. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By Jefferson, where health is all we do. Call 1-800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. And by Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Top of the 8th inning. Nationals on top 8-2. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Let's get back in the 5th inning. Bryce Harper hits an absolute missile up the mirror, but Altair comes up, makes a very strong throw to home. Very good tag right there by Cameron Rupp, holding onto the ball. And after further review, showed that he was still out of the home plate. Right there, you got the call, and that's why that's your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
You know, I know the umpires don't ever show any emotion. You see Gio Gonzalez being congratulated in the dugout. But, you know, if you're the home plate umpire, I feel like you got that call right, and then they confirm it. Got to be an internal fist pump as he goes back to his position.
The fist pump and the leg up in the air at the same time.
Nefi Ogando is the new pitcher for the Phils. First pitch fastball to Ian Desmond, and it's 0-1. Justin goes 1. Allows the 1 hit, the home run to Harper, 2 runs. .96 on that fastball from Ogando. Ogando, 26 years old. This year making his major league debut. This is his 3rd outing. Down at Lehigh Valley this season, he was 2-2 with a 2.86 ERA. He began the year with Reading, was 2-2 with a 2.86 ERA. Should say 2-3. So he had the exact same ERA in AA and in AAA. Just a bit low. Ball 4. Robotone's coming up. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you.
I like his fastball.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. Speaking of fastballs.
Is that Rivero?
Yeah.
From the left side.
Which is interesting to see. You have a left-hander warming up in the bullpen. An all right-handed hitting lineup.
Foul ball, and it remains 0-2. Well, I guess they feel like his fastball and his secondary pitches can handle anybody. Overtone fouls it back over the screen. Well, the Nationals could take a peek out at the scoreboard and see that if this score holds up and what's going on up in New York holds up, they would have cut the lead to 7.5 in the National League East. Mets are trailing the Miami Marlins 4-0. Somebody finally got to Bartolo Colon. Somebody from the National League East finally got to Bartolo Colon. One away on the strikeout. And Jets spent some time with Dad.
Taylor has a base hit tonight. He's 1 for 3. Hit into a double play his last time up.
Parado and Real Muto got a hold of Colon's pitch tonight for home runs.
Little bloop, foul territory, rough. We'll watch it bounce into the seats. Girl, bring your glove to the game. In the dirt, Rupp blocks it.
Good play.
Chopper to third. Trying to get at least one at second. They'll get him. And Ruff makes a nice play in the backhand in one hop. 5-4 on the putout at second base. Headed into extra innings and need a boost? Call WB Mason and order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB? Dan Uggla will be the pinch hitter. It's his first appearance in this series. Uggla has not had a particularly good year, hitting 184. 184 with one home run. He's been up the whole year.
Yeah, 114 at bats. Wow. Kind of looks like my numbers I had that year I was there. Actually, he out-homered me.
The year you were in Washington.
Yeah, I was a really good player.
Fan favorite.
I was a really good player that year. I'll give you my numbers here in a sec. I hit a $154. That was hot.
Ball 4. So Gondo walks. Dan Uggla, second walk of the inning. Anthony Rendona's coming up. Is that why they don't have a photo of you in that hallway that we see all the other photos?
Pretty good chance. Well, I was never on the field. I had 74 at bats that year. I had 65 at bats that year.
They could have taken the photo pregame.
I got let go in August, end of August, 1st of September. I had 65 at bats.
Pacing yourself, that's all.
I usually had that in spring training.
What did you do that year after that? Did you go somewhere else right after that?
Absolutely not. Told my agent if he found me a job, he's fired. The day the season was over, I retired and I fired him.
Here's Rendon, who's scored 2 runs this evening. Hit by pitches last time, singled and scored the time before. Right through the hole on the right side. Taylor's around third, heading home. Francoeur's up with it. He throws to the plate, not in time. Good slide by Taylor to get his hand in there. 9-2 now, Nationals on top. RBI single for Rendon, his second ribby of the night. First and third for Washington. Eddinel Escobar will be the hitter.
Pretty good throw by Frenchie coming up. Great technique. Just to the right of Cameron. That's a slide you see a lot in baseball now. Like their feet are already past home plate, and then they touch it. No idea why they do that.
Well, particularly if you slide feet first in his case, although we've seen so many feet pop up, but he would have scored easily. 1 ball and no strikes to Escobar.
I'll tell you, the year I was in Washington. Right, quick little story how bad I was. Pinch hit, the bases loaded versus Roy Halladay.
Yeah.
Against you guys.
I was there.
Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. I didn't even get the bat off the shoulder.
Were you playing possum or something? What were you doing?
Posing for pictures, but it's like I was doing a Nike commercial or something. You know. I don't think I've ever taken 3 pitches before not swung, let alone the bases loaded.
Did you just not see the ball? What was the?
No, I saw him go down the middle. I just could not pull the trigger. It's one of those years, you know. You knew it was time to walk away. I enjoyed going to the ballpark. Enjoyed taking batting practice.
Line drive, base hit to right field. One more run is in. Oh man, it goes right past Jeff Francoeur off his glove. That'll score 2. Escobar is graciously just trotting into second base. A 3-run inning for the Nationals. And it's 11-2 Washington. He's got his feet tangled up.
Yeah, he did.
So 1 RBI for Escobar. The second run scores on Jeff's 6th error. Escobar's night is done. I don't know if he hurt himself, if that's why he was just casually going into second base. Trey Turner comes on to pinch run for him. He's really unhappy after that base hit and RBI. Takes a strike at the knees.
Well, I will say this. I mean, the effort wasn't there at the home run shot and doesn't appear to have nothing wrong with the legs. Matt Williams is not afraid to pull you from the ball game if you do not run the game. He has pulled Bryce Harper a few times from games for not running. When that gentleman played the game right there, he respected the game and he played very hard.
Talking to Ryan Zimmerman right now. Fly ball left field. Darnell Sweeney is under it. And the inning is over. 3 runs score for the Nationals in the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Nats 11 and the Phillies 2. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service. College students enjoy a back-to-school offer with 35% off discount. Authentication required. Blackouts and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV today. Well, changes for the Nationals. Trey Turner stays in the ballgame to play second base. Moving from second base over to third is Anthony Rendon. And the new pitcher is the hard-throwing left-hander Felipe Rivera. Rivera comes in for Gio Gonzalez, who strikes out 12 over 7 innings. Two and 1, 3.10 ERA. Freddie Galvis will lead it off. Galvis is 0 for 3. A strikeout, a flyout, a fielder's choice for him tonight. Fastball, and it's 0-1 to Freddie. It'll be Galvis, Blanco, and Altair. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just one error for the Phillies, but kind of a sloppy game tonight. They've been struck out 12 times. Last 2 nights, the starting pitchers have struck the Phillies out 26 times. Well, there you go. 15 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 26 strikeouts.
And only 3 walks.
High chopper to third. Rendon has to hurry. Strong arm. And that'll bring Blanco up. It was one of the 5 hits.
Over to shortstop. Desmond gobbles it up. Time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away, buddy.
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by St. Joseph's University. And a little history in Tampa tonight. Chris Archer recorded a strikeout in the third inning for the Rays. It was number 240 on the season.
Wow.
And that is a new franchise record. He passes Scott Kazmir, who held that record since 2007. And you get this, Archer's previous high, about 173. That was last season. So he goes from 173 to 240 plus and sets a new franchise record. And did you hear who was back in the big leagues in the bullpen for the Oakland A's? How about former Cy Young Award winner Barry Zito, who retired basically at the end of the minor league season this year. He had been down at Nashville for the Oakland A's all season long, never got up to the big leagues, and when the season ended, he went to start to pursue his songwriting career, and he said goodbye to baseball for one final time. Well, 8 days later, Billy Beane gave him a call and said, do you have any bullets left in you? We could use some bullpen help up at the big league level. He slept on it for a night, decided that he still had a little bit left, and he is back in the big leagues as part of their bullpen. He's not going to start any games for the A's for the rest of the season, but he will pitch out of the bullpen. So Barry Zito getting one more shot in the big leagues.
There are a lot of folks that would like him on the 25th, 26th, or 27th to match up against Tim Hudson.
That'd be kind of cool.
Former teammates with the Oakland A's, because Hudson is calling it quits at the end of this season. And Hudson is all for it. He would love to see it. Zito hasn't really said anything about it, but Hudson would love to see it. But as Murph said, the impression is that he will come out of the bullpen. Maybe he can throw an inning to start the game, but the A's have not said whether that would happen. We go to the ninth inning here in Philadelphia. Nationals lead it 11-2. Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. It's a 3:05 first pitch. All fans coming to the ballpark that day will receive the 2016 Phillies schedule magnet. Plus, throughout the day, there will be prizes and surprises. Always some great giveaways on Fan Appreciation Day. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Ken Roberts will take over on the mound for the Phillies, over from the Colorado Rockies organization. Roberts, so far this year in the big leagues, has pitched in 12 games. 7.15 ERA. Base hit to right field for Jason Worth, so Worth has a 3-hit night. So we flash back to April 13th, 2011.
the outside corner. Called strike three. 3 fastballs.
Oh, you even called it. Did you 3 fastballs down the middle?
I did sound kind of excited, didn't I?
You think?
By the way, you look great, though.
Oh, I look good.
Yeah. You look great.
Hey, they say some days you feel good hitting, some days you don't. That day, apparently I didn't feel very good at all.
Oh, man, I was really punching it, too. Bam.
Oh, I bet you were.
Bam.
I bet you Jeff, guys down the truck, were loving it, too. Oh, man, what's that little fat dude taking all those pictures for? I see how you are.
Oh, man.
But I enjoyed it. It was a fun punch-out.
I didn't know if we were going to show that or if we were going to show the Bryce Harper celebration compared to the Matt Stairs celebration.
See, well, my celebration was kind of cooler.
Yeah.
Mine came off Broxton. But how come we never showed the one? I guess I had 2 RBIs that year. The one walk-off I had. Didn't show that, did you?
Was that against the Phillies?
No.
Ground ball to right field. Robinson.
I have no idea who that was against.
Robinson with his 3rd hit. Tyler Moore came on the pinch run for Jason Worth. So Robinson's at first. Moore is at second. Ian Desmond is the batter.
Man, you were excited on that punch out.
It was a big moment. We're closing the door.
Yes, it is.
It's a big moment in the game. Bases were loaded. And I'll tell you, we were nervous. Matt Stairs was coming out.
And they weren't all down the middle. A little sinker. A little another sinker.
Well, from that high up, it would look like they were all down the middle. Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. I haven't seen many photos of Doc Fly on his plane on Twitter at all recently. In the dirt, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ian Desmond. Desmond tonight has been on base with an error, a double, and a walk. High chopper to third. Darno trying to go around the horn with 1. And not in time to get the double play. Fielder's choice. And Lobatone is due up. Flashback to another moment in Matt's career. This is Harper's celebration. Burrow was trying to rip your helmet, your shirt, everything off there. Tell the story about Charlie Emanuel, though. I mean, when Jeff Jenkins was next to him.
I can't, because it'd be better if I could say it the way Charlie said it.
Say it the way Charlie said it.
And then I'll never be able to do broadcasting again.
Why?
Did they say you can say the word one time?
Oh, no. Yeah. Well, you can.
Oh, I remember after I hit the home run, and I gotta think about this now. Jenkins came up and he was shaking Charlie's shoulders, and he's doing the big high five, and Charlie turns around and of course he kind of grinned and says in my terms,
line drive to right field, another base hit and another run for the Nationals. 12-2.
How Charlie's basically
gosh darn it.
Basically the game's not over yet. It's just that was Charlie. He never got excited until the game was over, but it's just funny because Jenkins is shaking his shoulders and he's going for the big high five, and he's like, GD, the game not over yet. And I'm like, that's why that was Charlie, though.
It's a great celebration. Great night. Here's Michael Taylor. You have Defoe at second base, Wilmer Defoe. Taylor swing and a miss. It's 0-1. 12 runs, 16 hits. The series has not gone according to plan for the Phillies.
No.
Ball, 2 strikes. Over to third again. Darno has it on the bag. Hesitates for a moment. He was waiting for Darren to get to the first base bag. Double play. Side is retired. Everybody's looking around wondering if that was indeed a foul ball or not. It was not, according to the third base umpire. 12-2. Nationals comfortably on top after adding another run here in the top of the 9th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Hits here tonight. Their pitchers also have 15 combined strikeouts. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. A little bongo cam going on here at the ballpark. Jeff Francoeur has struck out 3 times tonight. Will lead it off. Rafael Martin is the new pitcher for the Nationals. 0-1 to Francoeur. Martin's numbers, 9th ball game, 5.19 earned run average. Liner foul. Jeff's been peppering that left side.
It's about 6 balls he's hit in his last 5 at bats, going back to with Papelbon.
Fly ball center field. Shallow. Michael Taylor makes the catch. Time now for our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game, and some long balls here tonight for the Nationals.
Well, there has been. Jason Worth back to first inning, a home run. The second and 4th inning. And he hits another one to left center. And Bryce Harper hits an absolute towering home run for his 40th of the season. Those are the W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
Well, it's the first time the opposing team had 2 players hit 4 home runs against the Phillies in a 3-game series. Harper and Worth each with 4 homers against the Phils. Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. This is an amazing series before these two. They have 12 hits and 26 at bats, 8 home runs, 14 RBIs,
10 runs scored.
Ground ball to shortstop. Turner's up with it. And they're 2 outs in the 9th inning. Phillies have not had a hit since the 5th inning. Stay tuned after the game. Marlon Anderson will give his full analysis of tonight's series finale only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live. Tonight we've also seen Bryce Harper hit his 40th home run during his 22nd year, which is a pretty big milestone. Not too many guys have had 40 home runs when they're 22 years old or during their 22 year. ...40 home runs in one season, I should say. He's also zeroing in on 100 home runs.
Quickly.
Darnell Sweeney to right field. Dendecker froze for a moment, comes in sliding, makes the catch. And the ball game is over, and the Nationals have completed a 3-game sweep of the Phils. Tonight convincingly winning it by a final of 12-2. And there's only 1 more out to go up in New York. And if the Marlins can get that last out, then the Nationals